Welcome. Today I want to implement the pragma command lib directive. So what this directive allows you to do is you can specify in code some directive like this, and then it will link to whatever library I put here. And so for now, let's try kernel32. Okay, so this worked a little bit different than I thought it would, but I managed to make an example. So what I thought would happen is that this just gets appended with like a lib directive or something. But actually it seems like when I compile this, so using cl/c test.c, and then look at dumpin and look at everything, in this directive section, it sort of like puts directives which are then supposed to get interpreted by the linker. And for these pragma command lib directive, it seems that it uses the /default lib and then the library name. And so I was trying to avoid default libraries because there are always some default libraries linked. But it seems because this is using the default lib option that then if I use no default lib, they get stripped. And so this is one of the things we have to do. We actually put these directives into the directive section when we are compiling into an object file. And then the other thing we have to do is when we are not compiling to an object file, but directly to an executable, well, we have to link to set library. So these directives are obviously going to get processed in the tokenizer or like the preprocessor. Currently all tokenizer still here, but preprocessor down here. Anyway, and well, if the tokenizer finds one of these directives, it sort of has to add it to some global or something. And the globals are just some global array up here. And we already support linking to import libraries. So there is supposed to be some import library thing, I assume. Namely here. Here are the libraries. There's just currently a libraries, and then an amount, and then there's some library nodes which go from first to last. So just a linked list of these. Now the plan is to, when we find one of these pragma command lib directives, to add set library then to this library linked list. But first of all, make sure that it's not already in there. We first off pass the directive by just requiring that all the tokens are in place. So after the pragma, which I already had some code for pragma once, we check for a comment. If we find a comment, and we expect an open paren. We expect the directive after that. Maybe say directive here. If that directive is lib, which is what we currently care about, then the directive should look like that. We should find a comma after the lib, and then a string literal. And if we have that string literal, we can then get the library out. In this case, should be shell32.lib by stripping the quotes. I think it's optional to put the lib here, so I check if there's a lib at the end. If there isn't, then I put one there. Then I do everything else in the spin log. That's really hacky. Maybe there's a better way. I'm usually not okay with spin locks or like any kind of locks all over the place. But for now, let's keep it here, and then I can think about it later. After that, I iterate all of the library nodes. Now that I have unique access, there isn't anything that's going to get added. I try to find it. When I have not found it, I iterate the library paths, so any sort of directories where actually these lib files are. And I try to find the library. And after I found the library or did not, I either report an error or I pass the library file. And this AR pass file at the very end pushes one of these library nodes into global.library. Once we're done with all of that, I unlock this big ticket log again. And let's see if that compiles. It does not. Okay, now that builds. So let's test it on the test file. HLC test.c. It says that we could not find uuid.lib.lib. So we apparently screwed up the .lib detection. And now it infinitely loops. Because I did lock and not unlock. Now it seemed to have worked for things in Windows.h, but then it complains about a syntax error for the thing I did, which is weird. Oh, it is because there's the white spaces in here. You can see where I expect the token to be white spaces. But I have a function for that. And to be clear, these white spaces are in here because they matter for some directives. There's one they don't. Okay, and we can see that works beautifully now. Now, one thing that was weird is that it maybe tried to pass the ulib twice. Why did it do that? Let's investigate that. Okay, and it seems to be because we skip any libraries that don't export anything, and we want for this library that it doesn't export anything because, well, it's probably just exporting data symbols, and they don't have the .lib dash dash imp dash prefix that I currently check for. This may be wrong, but we'll keep it like it is right now. Okay, but that means I think I just want to get rid of this return 0, and then it should only check it once. Maybe also the warning, but prints I have to figure out anyway, so let's leave that for now. What we can see now, test compiles, even though it uses a function that is only defined in shell RPE, namely this shell 32, namely this command line to argv. So I guess what I want to test is that it doesn't compile without the pragma, but it compiles with the pragma. So hlc test.c compiles. Now I remove the pragma. And we can see it says error detected, stopped, because this function is not contained in any of the imported DLLs. Okay, that works beautifully. And this is half of what I wanted to do today, because this means the pragma command lib works when using my compiler to compile to an executable. But the second thing that has to work is using the compiler to compile to an object file. So let's look at that. Okay, and so the directive section that we saw before is sort of this thing right here. So where I already have default lib is libcmt apparently, and default lib is old names. And I kind of want to add all of the default libraries that I added just now also in here. Let's see, first of all, that that's currently not happening, and then how it looks when I compile it with MSVC. So hlc/c test.c and then out, let's say, me obj. Then we can look at dumpin of me.obj. And we can see that the directive section is currently comprised of exactly this, what I have here. There's also export data, which I currently append to that. So all we have to do is find all of the libraries that we import and add them to this directive section, I think. So let's do that. Okay, now I've added all of these import libraries. I just take the file name for now. I'm not sure that that's really correct. Most of them are just going to look exactly like I just did, and that's the first thing. So just the name of the library in it. Okay. And now that we have that, what I want to do is, first of all, check that currently it doesn't link. And then once I've recompiled the test.c, that it then links. So link me obj as unresolved external symbol. So that is correct. Then now if I compile it again, refreeze. Recompile. And we have a whole lot of problems. That is because we apparently tried to link libucrt.lib. So why is that? Okay, after some fighting, I apparently uncommented the thing and didn't realize it works now. So when I have this comment, then it links. And if I uncomment it, and importantly, I recompile and relink, and it doesn't work. So that's working fine now as well. And also we can quickly look into it. Me.obj. You can now see that there is the shell API and the UUID lib ended. Okay. With that, I think that is perfectly fine implemented, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I maybe see you in the next one.